Namaste. Good morning, beautiful humans. Welcome back to another Meandering Yogi in review. Today we're going to do a review on Discount Tire. My wife and I recently took a trip to Florida to visit some family, and upon return, driving back toward North Carolina, well, let's just say we had some encounters in the tire department. So first of all, you know, imagine driving down the road, beautiful Florida morning, and just enjoying the view, and the next thing you know, bam, we have a blowout. Yeah, so no big deal, right? Got a spare in the back underneath the truck bed. Right around 2015, we ended up losing a key, so she took the truck to the dealership. They replaced the door locks and gave her 2 new keys. Told her to keep the old key in case we needed to get in the glove box, because they didn't change that lock. That key also operates the lock mechanism on the tube that leads down to the spare tire. So needless to say, we realized we didn't have the correct key, couldn't get to the spare tire. So now we realize we need to be towed. Yeah, so this tow truck driver takes us to a tire center close to where we were. We ended up this was right around Jacksonville area, Jacksonville, Florida. So we end up going to this tire place. They didn't have the tire size I needed, but there was a Discount Tire there local, so and they were open and had the tire size I needed. So we took the truck, went over there, or the tow truck driver towed us over there. We ended up being dropped off there. I told them what I needed. I wanted to replace the tire that blew out. I had a blowout on the front right side, passenger side. So I wanted to replace that with a new tire, okay? They didn't have the exact tire I had, but they had a tire that would work just fine. I was perfectly satisfied with it because I was going to end up now probably looking at new tire options. So, and mind you, the tires I had on there wore very badly, and I didn't expect this kind of thing to happen. But it was very, very hot, and we were driving in the heat of the day. So, anyway, now we're at the Discount Tire. So while I'm there, I think to myself, well, let's go ahead. I don't want to do this again. The wife didn't want to do this again. We like being prepared. We don't want to be ill prepared when we're traveling. So we went ahead and told them we would like to buy a spare rim and another tire. So another new tire and a wheel to put it on, and I'll put it in the bed of the truck so that if something was to happen, I would have a spare tire that I can actually change and put on there now that I can get to, yeah? So they sell us a spare tire and a wheel that you see here. So we start down the road again. And we get traveling, and it's probably about 7 o'clock in the evening. We've still got 4 or 5 hours to drive. Well, actually about 4 hours to drive. And next thing you know, bam, another blowout. Left rear tire. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a bad day, but I have a spare tire and wheel that I know I can get to now, and I can put on the truck, right? So lo and behold, I get it jacked up. I get the other tire off and went to put this one on. The wheel would not fit over the brake caliper. So now I've got a spare tire and wheel that I can't use. So off we go again, another tow truck. We ended up at a place in South Carolina, and they were open late. Thankfully, they were open till 11 o'clock that night. We ended up getting there at like 10 o'clock. So I ended up having to get towed again, buy another tire to put on that, and head down the road without a spare now, not knowing whether or not, because I wasn't about to buy another tire and wheel. So the very next morning, we called the Jacksonville store where all this had taken place, right? I spoke with a gentleman named Gavin. I remember him from the night before, and he remembered us as well. They were absolutely incredible again with their kindness and the way they, you know, were happy to work everything out. They took immediate responsibility. They told me that it was their fault. They should have fit the rim to make sure before it ever left the building. Anyway, they from that point, Gavin instantly, of course, asked where we were at and you know, were we safe and that kind of thing. And so we told him where we were in North Carolina, where we were staying, and the closest store was going to be in Wilmington. So we had to go to Wilmington to do something anyway, so it was going to work out well. He instantly called the folks over there. He set me up with a gentleman named Sean, who was also extremely well-mannered. And I mean, I was really impressed with them to begin with. The whole, you know, even when I was at the Jacksonville store when we were being serviced, I was really impressed with the way they worked their establishment there. It was very nice. Anyway, so he called Sean. They set up an appointment for me to go in and get things taken care of. When I say get things taken care of, let me explain what they did. The tire that I bought from them as a spare, or I mean for the flat, not the spare, but for the flat tire, they reimbursed us for that. They supplied me with the correct tire size and wheel size for me to have the new spare. They also paid our tow bill to be towed, and they paid for the tire in the back that blew that I had to get replaced at the next place. Plus, it gave me a wonderful price on the tires that you see that I did purchase, because I told you, like I said, I'd already had 2 blowouts with the last set. I wasn't about to take another chance, so we went ahead and fitted the truck with tires. They gave me an excellent price on that as well. All in all, it was a bad experience, but it was a learning experience for both sides. You know, I feel terrible for the gentleman, you know, that ended up feeling like it's their fault, when ultimately it was just as much my fault for not having that key to begin with. But anyway, you know, things happen, and when they do, when you correct the things that have happened in the proper way, it alleviates all that angst and pain that you might have, you know. So they've done a wonderful job. All in all, I am perfectly satisfied with them, and will be using them again. Both stores were incredibly great. They gave me great service, and they righted a wrong, and that's all that can be asked, correct? So if anybody's watching this, I absolutely recommend them. You know, I think all in all, they did a great job. You know, it was just one of those bad days. I think we all have them. But much love and respect. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching.